Nintendo's response to the Nintendo Switch Next leak you'll see here, this system, as well as a couple other leaks from this weekend, is incredibly illuminating and tells us everything we need to know, and we're going to cover it right here. So, good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. We're back on the GMM morning train. I'm excited for a new week, and Nintendo, they are really solidifying what's going on for us. I don't have to do a lot of digging when Nintendo comes through. So let's get right to it and talk about the massive leaks that dropped this weekend. Massive. First off, I want to retouch on a leaker that has been in the news and has been posting incessantly more and more updates, more and more ridiculous inventions of their own imagination. That's Nintendogs BS, and they continue to post GIFs of this Nintendo Switch with these curvy Joy-Con and these switchable Joy-Con and this really incredible UI that is too good to be true. And I think everybody on the internet now is convinced that this person is just an insane graphic designer. They're fantastic at whatever they do. They've made incredibly realistic looking stuff, and it's not real. It's not real because things are changing. Like, in the latest GIF posted today, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is now titled Super Mario Bros. Wonder, whereas previously it was Super Mario Wonder. And just in general, like, to have this level of detail, no, it's not going to happen. And Nintendo's response to this proves that. We then had another one, which was much more believable, from Nintendo Leaks 1. This is another Twitter account coming out of nowhere, and they just have a slew of information. They posted the tablet console is probably the least impressive thing. There's design changes that include a metal shell, curved edges, and a separate volume up and down button. That's very minimal. They said that they got this information, but then they had someone Photoshop mock it up for them. They also claim that there's changes on the inside, including an OLED 720p HDR screen. Nintendo is aiming for 720p, 60 FPS in handheld, which is sort of your biggest, they're aiming for that. That's usually done on the developer side on a game-by-game basis, not like Nintendo would set a parameter, like you gotta be here. A T239 chip, which is what we expect. DLSS 2 capable, DLSS 3 ray tracing technically capable, 8 gigs of RAM, 64 gig eMMC storage, and 3 to 6 hour battery life. Basically, this would be a super okay upgrade. This would be kind of like the low tier upgrade that I think maybe we have sort of resigned ourselves to expecting from Nintendo. So this leak gained some traction because it's plausible. It's kind of taking bits and pieces from around the internet and saying, hey, what's the most likely Nintendo scenario that doesn't have a super fancy new UI, that doesn't have crazy new Joy-Con, that doesn't have insane power, but kind of just takes things up a tick and still retains the Switch form factor, still retains the switchability, but has like a curved edge because curved is the future. This one, maybe there is some validity, but again, Nintendo's response really says what we need to know. And that brings us to Dusk Gamer, who posts the actual picture of the Nintendo Switch Next with cameras on the front and back, looking like it's made by Apple. This is a cell phone done Nintendo with a logo that is so wild and weird, it could only be something Nintendo would put out. When Wii U started to come about, everyone thought that was silly, and then oops, it was actually the truth. Nintendo Switch Next, that's about as goofy as it gets, but it could be legitimate. There's a picture of Joy-Con that have very curved edges and a sort of flap for where you'll see the player count. Looks like that could break off pretty instantaneously, but they are providing pictures, the logos, and details saying that the announcement is going to come between September and December 2023. The release instead not before March 2024. The console will have 2 cameras, one front, one rear. It'll have a 1080p 120Hz OLED screen. Games could run stable 60 and TV mode up to 4K. It may support ray tracing. Memory will be 128 gigabytes and up, and the console will be $500 or less. Tons of information, random account, pictures, Joy-Con, and icon logo. But again, it's Nintendo's response that answers what's up with Nintendo Switch Next. Their response is nothing. Look here, Nintendo is the smartest, strictest company when it comes to leaks. They are the quickest to assert and destroy, right? Nintendo has the Nintendo Ninja meme or legend or truth because it's how they operate. They don't let things leak out, and they want to make sure that they're keeping their proprietary technology and their new reveals as secret as possible. So when you see Nintendo Switch Next pop and it sticks, that's really all you need to know. Nintendo would assuredly have taken action on at least one of these leaks if any of them had true validity, if any of them were really sourcing actual authentic information. I mean, we can go back to Nintendogs BS and say if Nintendogs BS was actually posting GIFs of the new Switch UI, GIFs of the new Joy-Con, pictures from the design board of Nintendo HQ, and documentation from the warnings and information within the Switch 2 packaging, Nintendo would be Hadokening that faster than you could say marbles. Instead, these things have listed and lived online on the new X website, since it's no longer Twitter, for over a week. So very interesting, right? That they're up here, but Nintendo is not taking any action. Nintendo leaks is a little bit more murky because it's just words. Nintendo may not target this, as we've seen in the past when people like Pioro or people like Nate Drake do speak on things and it's just words. There's not much they can do, right? They're not going to shut down a written leak because A, it's just words. You don't really have a lot of claim to that. And B, it kind of confirms the leak when you are taking it down, right? A shutdown sort of indicates truth, and we've seen that play out numerous times across different games and different publishers. But when you have an actual picture, when you have actual supposedly like insider photos from the creation of the new system, or from the production of the new system, or from dev kits of the new system, those would be taken down. If either Dust Gamer or Nintendogs images were actually real, Nintendo would assert themselves and shut that down. Now that would create a fervor, that would create a huge uptick in discussion because we know something interesting is going on here. But again, it's Nintendo's nothing that answers the question definitively that these are not real. And maybe you suss that out on your own, but I wanted to just come here and really affirm for you for this and going forward, if we're gonna see picture-based leaks, if we're gonna see ones that show the system and the new logo, and they got the Joy-Con, and they got GIFs, and they got all of that, and it stays up for a notable period of time on X, freaking Elon Musk, then we know that it's not real. Because Nintendo has a history, a pattern, and an established reputation of not letting things like this slip through the cracks. In fact, we all expect a new Nintendo Switch soon, and we truly know nothing. There truly has been no leaks, and it's one of the impressive things that actually keeps people questioning if there is indeed a new Nintendo system. Well, there is, because there always is, but we don't know what it is, when it's coming, or where it's coming from. Because all we have to go on is hearsay. The closest we have to a leak is multiple sources confirming that somebody in Spain did in fact get a Nintendo Switch 2 dev kit, whatever that looks like, whatever it's for, whenever they got it. That is what we have from multiple sources that do have some credibility. But when no-name Twitter accounts pop up or inactive Twitter accounts reactivate, it's going to be really hard to stop saying Twitter. When X accounts activate and post these pictures and Nintendo's just like, ha ha ha, we will do nothing. That's your ticket. That is your answer. That is your Willy Wonka golden stamp that, yep, this is a joke. And it's interesting and it's fun and it's cool to look at, and some of them are impressive as heck. I don't know that I've ever seen a better leak than what Nintendogs BS has put out there. Kudos to this guy or girl or person. They're doing fantastic, amazing, impressive work, and maybe someone should hire them for marketing, or someone should hire them for design, or someone should hire them for UI. I don't know. But they are not leaking Nintendo Switch 2. Neither is Dust Gamer. Nintendo leaks, I don't believe it either, because it just seems like the safest cornucopia from across the internet. But if you're going to like give any validity, any morsel of credence to any of this, it's this one, because it's just text. The idea that somebody would sneak in and have actual direct pictures of Nintendo's next console and Nintendo would sit by and do nothing is ridiculous. And that's how we know that all these leaks that popped up will continue to pop up. There will be many more like this. And if I see one that really does say something different, or that really does seem like, wow, there's interesting information here, I will bring it to you. Otherwise, we'll probably just cover them not at all, or we'll cover them in bunches like this to disprove all the other videos that are saying this could be a thing, because it cannot be a thing. I did really like the just incredible detail of Nintendogs, but again, Nintendo hasn't taken it down. They continue to post more and more, and the more they post, I think they've actually hurt themselves. One post would have been really interesting. If it was just Nintendogs BS, one post of a new Switch 2, and then they're done, maybe you would start to think, and maybe as the months progressed, you'd question it, but now you know the big response from Nintendo to look out for. Nothing. They don't shut it down. You can basically shut it down yourself. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and when you expect something actual to come out for Nintendo Switch 2. I hope it's soon, because I do love new consoles. I do love Nintendo improving and upgrading, and I think it's worth talking about because it's my favorite part of generations. The next one. I always love that excitement and enthusiasm, and I'm not going to sit by and just ignore it because some people don't like it. I think this coverage is important. I think pointing out flaws and inaccuracies and also maybe some details that end up being true is really cool and will lead us to a better picture and a better idea of what we're getting next, if we should get it, and what it means for Nintendo. That's kind of the point of the entire channel. So thanks so much for standing by with me this entire generation, and hopefully next one too. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.